A warm welcome to one and all. Today let's discuss about method of residential and commercial waste collection. Myself Dr. V. Godwin Sharmila, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. Today let's see about method of waste collection. Method of waste collection is nothing the waste which was generated from each and individual source of generation has been collected from number of collection crews, and these collection unit collect those waste from certain point to the final disposal site. This is termed as method of collection. So this method of collection is usually expensive since the waste material or the storage bin or the storage vehicles which has been used for the collecting of those waste require proper management. It must follow proper regulation and time duration. So it demands heavy duty vehicles, experienced people, manpower, hand tool, funds. So these are all require proper salary, fuel for the vehicles to be taken, and the gathering and the picking of solids must require proper instrument or the collection system. So these are all causes the excess consumption of the money, and it demands more cost while it was loading or unloading those collection vehicles. So these collection vehicle require cost which is estimated to be 50% of total cost of collection system, since the sanitary landfill is highly utilized for the mean of disposal. So in order to reduce the amount of waste to be landfilled, 60% of waste must be initially incinerated prior to the disposal. So these home collection waste are usually done by means of private collector or local government in that particular area. So these private collector charges certain amount of fee to the individual home or the individual lender who give waste to the collection unit through the government contractor. So based on their amount of money given by the individual owners from each different household or residential area, the solid waste collection unit has been formed and the proper management of the waste has been done in a sanitary manner. Collection process. The collection of waste is not a single process since it was divided into 5 different phases. Phase 1. Phase 1 indicates house to dustbin, that is the waste which is generated from the each premises, that is from houses, industry, has been transformed from the individual people in the industries and the houses to the dustbin. This is the phase 1, that is house to dustbin collection unit. Next is phase 2, dustbin to truck, that is the temporary storage waste, that is the dustbin has been collected by the each truck unit, that is done from the government sector or from the private sector. So this is considered to be the phase 2 collection process. Phase 3 is truck from house to house, that is from one home the truck will move from one home to another home to collect waste from the different people living in the on that particular street. So the truck moves from house to house or collection center to collection center, which is considered to be the phase 3. Phase 4, truck to transfer station, that is the collected waste has been carried to the disposal site or to the transfer station, comes under the phase 4 category. Phase 5, truck to disposal, that is the waste are sorted or segregated initially prior to the disposal site for resource recovery as well as for recycling or reusable purpose. This comes under the category of phase 3, phase 5. Hence, the individual homeowner must transform those waste to the refuse bin or the storage container which was located inside or outside the house. So, the owner or the collection crew move the waste to the collection truck. The truck must collect the waste from many homes in more efficient and economical way. So the collected waste must be taken to the transfer station where the larger volume will be collected and transported using bigger transport means, or prior to the movement of the waste to the transfer station, the waste will be sorted as far as possible for recovering or recycling process. Then it was carried to the disposal site. The overall the process was termed as the collection process. Collection service. Here the different type of collection service are given to residential, commercial and industrial areas. This collection service for residential area depends on the type of dwelling, that is from low rise, detached or high rise apartment. So the most common type of residential, commercial or the high rise apartment or detached or low rise services includes the following list of collection service, that is curbside, set out, that is block collection, backyard carrying service, that is door to door collection, then alleys. Curbside, the curb collection. In this system, the homeowner is responsible for placing the container to be emptied at the curb or the roadside on collection day and for returning the empty container back to his house. Okay, here the whole homeowner is never, because since the homeowner is responsible for placing and returning the empty container, this is little not satisfactory, since the proper separation or segregation of waste by the homeowner was not done, since the collection member will require more energy or require more time to separate those waste which was commingled by the owner. Then set out or block collection. Here the waste container are set out from the homeowner's property by additional collection crews that go with the collection vehicle. The owner of the house is responsible for returning the empty container to their storage location. Next is backyard carrying service or door to door collection. Here the collection crew goes with the collection vehicle, are responsible for bringing out the stored solid waste from the each residential area or each residential unit and other activities related to collection. This is the one of the satisfactory system of collection unit. In this, householder does not get involved. So this type of collection service is highly preferable. Next is alleys. In this collection of waste from the alleyway beside the houses, which will take the container to the collection vehicle, could be arranged between the owners of the house and the collection crew or between the organization. After collection, how the solid waste has been loaded on the vehicles was discussed here. That is, usually directly lifting those waste from the container and carrying those container to the truck, or by rolling the load container on their rim, or by means of small lift. The rolling container has been kept on that lift and it was taken to the collection vehicles. Then after that the small container are being carried to the site of the larger container and the small container are emptied into the larger container. These are the some of the examples or the photographical image of the small scale collection vehicle. See, they are using by means of animals. They are carrying collection, running the collection vehicle by means of animals, by cycling, and the man carrying those, moving those small scale wheel trolley by means of his hand. This is the one type of small scale collection vehicle system. Then this is by means of truck. See, the house owners from the each and individual houses are unloading their own container waste into the truck, which was moved on the each way home, which was moved from one home to another home. That is termed as non-compacted truck. This non-compacted trucks are efficient, cost-effective, and are highly utilized in the small cities. These collection vehicles need dumping system and are easily discharge its waste to the place of the disposal site. It is under the capacity of 10 to 12 meter cube, and the collection area must be less than 15 kilometer. But if the truck was used, non-compacted truck was used, the labor cost is little high. Only the controlling and operating cost is a deciding factor when the collection routes are long and are relatively densely populated areas. Now let's see about collection routes. The collection routes is nothing the efficient method of routing the vehicles to collect and dispose the waste to the site of landfill. So the efficient routing and rerouting of the solid waste collection is mainly done for decreasing the cost of labor to be spent for the collection system. So the routing has been classified into two separate types, macro routing and micro routing. The macro routing. The macro routing is a process of dividing the total collection route in a route sized. Usually they are represented, the macro routing is represented for collecting the waste within a one day by one crew. So this route depends on the amount of waste collected from each stop or between each loading time or based on the traffic condition. So usually this can be used to divide the route territories based on the barriers such as railroad, embankment, river roads. If it was available reverse roads or heavy competing traffics are existed, usually this routes has been divided into number of territories. So the size and the shape of the route must be balanced based on the barrier which was exist in the way of their routing. Then micro routing. The micro routing, in this the specific path is chosen or provided to the collection members, that is each crew members as well as the collection vehicle, and based on those defined specific path each vehicle will move and collect the waste within a day. So as a result the micro routing must be adjusted based on the macro routing decision. So the micro routing is highly depends upon the collection drivers. So it may increases the likelihoods of all streets that are serviced equally and consistently. So it helps the supervisor to locate the crew quickly because only the specific routes has been defined. So this method of routing is simple for the balancing or during the seasonal variation also. So the seasonal variation must be taken into consideration during the process of routing also. Hence the increasing the number of routes may leads to the generation of higher waste in a higher quantity and higher amount based on the seasonal fluctuation. During this method of micro routing, the districting has been done for the collection route to be designed. So the large area is divided into small subdivision so that the collection of these municipal solid waste can be made very easily. So the total collection plus the hauling time should be constant for each route in the community. So in order to avoid the heavy traffic or heavily visited places in the during the rush hours, these collection routes must be placed in a nearby area of the transfer station. So at the end of each segment of the collected area, the street must intersect with the main service road of the transfer station. So they must collected by walking down. If the huge number of subdivision or districting is available, they must undergo the collection routes must be in a way so that they can collect those waste by walking down itself. In case of steep hills, U-turn etc., the vehicles are difficult to move and taking reverse. So in such a condition, the way has been chosen for the man-made collection service. So this type of routing are very safe and are very easy to collect, and also it may consume less gases or oil for vehicle usage. So this type of collection unit can be done from one street to another street at any time in both the direction in during the clockwise as well as the anti-clockwise direction. Only the specific route and specific pattern of collection unit must be followed. It may enhances the better collection efficiency compared to the macro routing. These are all the some of the collection vehicle routes. Micro routing, say in this figure we can see the container has been kept for each 20 meter distance. So the truck has been moved to each sector, and from the each sector the waste has been collected. Similar to that, if there is a number of collection unit was excess and the route was little tough, each districting, that is subdivision has been made, 4 division has been made. From each 4 division, this waste has been collected by this termed as districting process has been done after that for collection. In that last session, see, there will be an intermediate junction in which the collection vehicle won't run. From this intermediate junction, the waste has been collected by the crew member by walking and to the site of the place where the collection vehicle can pick, and from that the waste has been collected by the truck and it get moved. This is termed, these are all the micro routing techniques. Then analysis of waste collection system. Usually the collection system has been done by means of mechanical manner. So by using this mechanical manner, the waste collection can be developed, and it may reduces the collection cost also. And also the separation and the collection of activities require proper design and relationship must be maintained, and also the variable associated based on the controlling capacity of the vehicle moving, and the proper modeling must be done prior to the collection unit. So the equipment must be very easily available and readily available, and the proper operation of this vehicle must be learnable by the truck operator. So this type of collection system are classified into 2 types, that is hauled container system and stationary container system. In case of hauled container system, the solid waste represents the time required to reach the disposal site starting after a container whose content are to be emptied has been loaded on the truck, plus time spent after leaving the disposal site until the truck arrives at the location where the empty container is to be deposited. However, it does not include time spent at disposal. In case of stationary container system, time required to reach the disposal site starting after the last container on the route has been emptied or the collection vehicle is filled, plus the time after leaving the disposal site until the truck arrives at the location the first container to be emptied on the next collection route. So the curb collection needs only the less person, okay, while considering. So the manually loader is highly utilized for the stationary container system. Thank you.